By the way, number 14, and I'm a little bit pissed off. That is to say, I'm very pissed off, and it's probably going to be, well, not right away, but it's probably going to get pretty bad halfway through. First of all, I'm going to do the Remy thing, and there's not much to say because Remy said he was going to talk about the utilitarianism, and he was going to explain away the fact that somehow our origins don't really have anything to do with how we should perceive our cans and cannots right now, and he didn't get around to it, so I'll probably wait till he does that video. I will mention though that Remy, I'll link to the video, but he talked about the trolls and the fact that somehow Emendem didn't play the trolls the right way last year when he was warring with them, and it was just such bullshit because I remember this is when I first started watching this stuff, and I recall Emendem ignoring the trolls big time when it all first started. And what did ignoring the trolls get Emendem? All it got was the videos first they started doubling, then they started tripling, then they started quadrupling, and before you knew it, there was a whole bunch of fucking videos, a whole trail of videos on Emendem is a Nazi, Emendem is this, Emendem is that. Come on, Remy, what was your advice there? He should have kept ignoring him and kept letting it grow. I mean, they were having fun playing the game with him regardless of his response. They were simply having fun because there were people willing to play the fucking game. So this idea that somehow ignore them and it'll go away has been demonstrated to not work. And it was only when Emendem started going after them, started to, maybe not right away, but yeah, when he started fighting back and clearing his name, that at least I remember, he started gaining he started gaining some respect back and started, the fan base sort of tilted. Well, not the fan base, but the people who were supporting Jonesar and then the people who were supporting Gary. It drastically shifted towards the end to the point where Jonesar got suspended because, yeah, enough people flagged him. I'm not saying he should have been suspended. Well, he should have been fucking suspended. He was there for malice. He wasn't there for fair service, fair terms. So, this idea of ignore them and they'll go away. Emendem in 2008 is a perfect example of that idea not working. Ignoring them won't make them go away. What's going to make them go away is enough dissenting voices. And the only way you get enough dissenting voices is you got to argue and you got to convince the people who don't know shit, okay, who can easily be convinced by anything as long as somebody makes an accusation. The only way you're going to undo that is you got to fucking argue back. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And rest of your video, yeah, nice part about the cat, I like that. Sorry it ended the way it did. Been there. But again, you analogized, I forgot exactly the analogies you brought up, but yeah, so a guy picks his nose, then life can actually be analogized to a big nose pick. And only if you refuse to operate under the underlying premise that suffering matters, that suffering is the real measuring stick of how we measure consciousness collectively, all right, under whether or not it's suffering. So that's the crown jewel, and you refuse to accept that as having more merit than all the other little bullshit. So until you accept that as the premise, then, like Gary said, it's really hard to have this debate, because it really is the most important thing. And it's not just a word. I mean, I'll get to this a bit later in the video, but most people do see it as just pleasure, this and that, suffering, just as if it's just along the line of everything else. And no, it's not. It's a separate thing. And I'll expand in a next video because I don't want to waste too much time on this because it's probably it's not an easy thing to explain, but suffering is not just something that you can lump in the category of all this other shit. So, make your video on utilitarianism, make your video on the evolution and how its origins are somehow inconsequential to what we can do right now, and then we'll argue from there. Or, yeah, just come to Stickham again. I'll probably be in Stickham again this Saturday for about an hour. So, dock up when I'm in there and we can have the debate, because this video thing is just gonna, I don't know how far we'll get with that. But okay, so moving on to the big topic that pissed me off today, which of course is the vegetarianism. And I don't talk about this topic too much because I'm only 99% vegetarian. I'm still not complete vegetarian. I'll buy a hot dog once a month still, but that's going to be completely done away with as long as I keep getting inspiration like today when I read all these commenters making the most childish pitiful, immature, nonsensical excuses for eating meat. And again, this stupid moronic idea that it's hypocritical to separate plants from animals. It's hypocritical, and especially coming from the fucking atheist community. Because all these people are arguing that abortion should be legal. First trimester abortion, second hell, some of them are even saying third trimester abortion should be legal. So what the fuck is that? Apply some fucking consistency, or just admit that this idea of, well, plants are equal to animals, it's all about life, the underlying life, and nothing else matters. Just admit that it's a weak argument, and all you want to do is just contrive a defense for something that you like doing. Okay? Because I'd have more respect for you then. Just admit that you're a fucking goddamn asshole. And as for Brett Keane, doing a little comedy routine, well, Brett, if you want to do the comedy routine, why don't you do something like, yeah, come on with a fucking KKK suit. Come and do a video in a fucking KKK suit and be cutting edge that way, okay? Because guess what? That's not going to do any fucking damage, okay? Because majority of human beings are past that bullshit, okay? They're going to get it, and they're going to see that, okay, well, this is just some fucking asshole trying to be, you know, trying to be funny. Majority of people have wised up to the fact that racism is a bullshit notion. But I'm sure you would find that more offensive than this idea. Whereas the way I see it is this is the truly offensive thing, because we got a world filled with people who have this view of vegetarians, and that's, to be fair, largely thanks to fucking PETA and their bullshit tactics that they employ during their protests. But your kind of shit isn't helping either, okay? And this idea that, yeah, let's just pigeonhole people based on little mainstream acts that they do is also bullshit. The fact that you actually said that somehow you're going to be weaker if you're a vegetarian, if you don't eat meat, I mean, where the fuck do you get that? But yeah, do a video. If you're all for this shock value humor and anything goes, well then yeah, go ahead and do a video in a KKK suit, okay? Because you're going to do less damage that way, because the majority of people can see through that shit, okay? But the majority of people, we need to work on the fucking meme thing, alright? The meme. And you're not going to do the meme of vegetarians any good, of vegetarianism is a rational choice. You're not going to do that meme any good if you do these little, if you post these little bullshit commentary by some guy who's just, I'm not even going to get into the fucking bullshit that he spewed. It was just such utter garbage. And it's going to change people's minds, regardless of whether it's a comedy or what have you. It's going to change people's minds and reinforce their bullshit notions that vegetarians are just some, you know, freaky people who like to throw blood on meat eaters during protests. That's the kind of tone that fucking comedy sketch had. So I'm saying, if you're going to do this cutting edge comedy, do it with something the majority of people are already over with, something that used to be extreme in the past, but no more. Or else shut the fuck up. Alright? I mean, I can fucking admit that I'm an asshole every time I buy my little hot dog. What's so hard for you to do the same thing? I mean, god fucking damn it. I know you probably just want to pick a fight with Amendum, but it's coming at a price, okay? Because these people are probably gonna, I mean, you are reinforcing in people's minds that their bullshit notions of what vegetarianism is, and through the most weakest of arguments too, plants, the plant thing. I can't believe how many of you assholes in the comment sections made that fucking argument and are sticking with it. It's just so infantile. So yeah, Brett, you're not helping, okay? As much as you think that talking about, you know, and as much as all these people think joking about the Holocaust and all that kind of shit is way more offensive than this, it's not! Because the majority of human beings see that as wrong. They get it, okay? But they don't see the same exact kind of wrong, or even a nearly lesser wrong, when it comes to the slaughterhouses and all that sort of shit. So yeah, this is a more sensitive topic, alright? And it is one of the topics that should be, hands off until we get at least 50% of people getting it. And we're not nearly there, alright? And you know, this is coming from a guy who enjoys dark humor as much as anyone I fucking know. Alright, but this, if you still can't recognize, then this is a topic to be a little, careful around. Well then fuck you. More careful than racism, more careful than nationalism, okay? Because people are wising up to that shit. But nobody, barely anybody is wising up to this vegetarianism shit. So treat it fucking delicately. Or don't fucking touch it. or fucking, have you even watched a single Slaughterhouse video? I can't conceive of somebody watching a Slaughterhouse video and still not lifting a finger about it, or doing a jokey monologue about it, or something like that. It's pretty psychopathic from my perspective. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, just outright fucking disgusting. And then, if that weren't enough, Terse did a video, and he said Emendem is being fucktarded for advocating that human beings should maybe, you know, ease up on the reproduction so they can ultimately grandfather themselves out of existence. And I left him a comment, but I don't think he's going to respond, so I might as well just do it in a video too. But yeah, Terse, you know what? This ride is going to end either way. So pretending that it's somehow retarded for us to take our own fate into our own hands and do, you know, grandfather ourselves out through a non-painful method, through a civilized method, as opposed to a, you know, method of nature, which is going to be fucking catastrophic. To pretend that there's something irrational about that